Every Friday, Best of Us Investors has a Zoom call, which we call our Stock Talk. It gives me access to up to 1,000 people who have different ideas on stocks. I want to share with you the conversation last Friday that's going to show you how we're going to take a $15 stock and over the next 2.5 years see it go to $68. Watch this.
So Kerry mentioned earlier about data centers and the conversion from
crypto
from
mining.
Bitcoin mining to data center or AI data centers. Company to take a look at is symbol IREN, Iris Energy. They're out of Australia. They are one of the handful that are making this conversion. It's up quite a bit this week. Based on my 15-day analysis, it's above its high point of 14.19, closed out today at 15.03. But it has and this is based on a 15-day analysis. It has a low side of 12.26 based on my statistics. So there could be a nice pullback. But this is one of those companies we talked about last week as a micro data center, a company that will potentially provide data AI services for a specific niche.
And actually, you mentioned Irene. I think I'm like 172% up on that one.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, it was down around 7 something a couple of weeks, like a month ago or something. It's made a pretty sizable move.
So what is it, Darlene? Are you familiar with what they do?
Both are Bitcoin mining. Irene is the one that he mentioned, and I got that back in March. And since March, I'm up 172%.
Whenever I hear something like that, the first thing I do is go to Seeking Alpha and get the facts on the company. And this is Iris Energy. And as you can see, year to date, it's up about 103% over the last year. It's up 148%. I then go to earnings, click here, and then go to earnings estimates. And what I'm trying to find out is this company going to make any money? Because if a stock's going to go up, it's because their revenues and their earnings are go up. And so they're showing me this. This is Seeking Alpha. And you can see that in 2023, they lost 89 cents. In 2024, they're projected to lose 4 cents, and then the next year, 2025, they're going to make $1.61, and then that will go to $2.61. That's pretty ambitious. As we look at it, we look at their revenues, and the revenues are actually going to outpace their earnings. The earnings are up 94, revenues are up 155%. Then followed by 177%, and then followed by 52%. So I look at that and say, yeah, this has got some potential. I need to dig a little bit deeper. So then what I do is I go back to the summary here, and I read some of the articles that some of the researchers do. And what I learned in this article is this is a company that's been around for 5 years. They've been doing some Bitcoin mining in Canada, and then have some smaller facility in Texas. But what really caught my eye was a line down here where they disclosed that they bought 248 GPUs from Jensen NVIDIA, and that's what they're doing. And then he goes on to explain that they're a little different than most Bitcoin miners. They take and sell whatever they mine every day, the next day, so they create cash flow. What I also learn is that most Bitcoin miners, like Marathon, ticker MARA, actually hold on to their Bitcoin as the major part of their investment. So in order to raise money to mine the Bitcoin and pay their expenses, they issue more shares, thus diluting the shares. So their earnings and their value of their company is totally dependent on the price of Bitcoin, whereas Iris sells their Bitcoin, raises money, upgrades their facilities, and now sees an opportunity to convert those facilities not into data centers that process data or mine data rather than mining Bitcoin, which I feel puts them in a much more stable position and changes them. This is also the other large company in this area is Riot, RIOT, ticker symbol, and they also hold the Bitcoin and then raise money by issuing more shares, thus diluting the shares. I think this is an interesting change. I was familiar with this because we own ADL, Applied Digital, and we bought that about 60 days ago, and we're up 24% on that. As you hear, Darlene is up 100 and what she say 72% on Iris Energy, and as I just showed you, with the increase in the earnings that they are projecting over the next 2 years, I believe that stock, which is currently at about $15, will go probably by mid-time next year to $42, and then by the end of 2027 will be up around $63.68. Again, how do I come up with those numbers? It's basically using an algorithm that I have developed that says what is the real PE ratio, price to earnings ratio, on this company. And I do that, again, how do you do that with a company that right now is losing 4 cents per share? You do that by finding what is the PE ratio of their industry, what is the financial status of the company. Iris happens to be a company that if you dig into their financials, you'll find they don't have any debt. They're a money-making machine, and that is in great part attributed to the fact that they are mining Bitcoin and then selling it every day. Now, are they going to go all the way to mining data and become a data center? From what I read from the CEO, the statements he's made in public and also at his earnings call, they're going to play this game from both sides. They're going to continue to mine Bitcoin while it's profitable to generate cash so they can buy more GPUs, build more facilities, and they're not going to try to compete with the large data centers like Microsoft and Amazon and Meta. No, they're going to find the niche. They're looking for me. They're looking for a small business who needs processing power and needs more than the 1 or 2 that I think I'm going to need, and then helps people like me stack it with the software that's necessary to perform the task that I'm looking, or small niches. This is what Jensen called AI factories, and what Iris Energy is striving to do is to become one of the major players in AI factories, thus providing a service that small to medium-sized companies need to take their businesses to the next level. And what is the next level? Artificial intelligence. And that's where the gains are going to be made, and I think Iris is one of the few companies who's figured it out, and Wall Street hasn't recognized them as of yet. So I think it's an opportunity. I thought that this movement of converting digital currency data centers or mining centers into data centers is an interesting transition that is happening. So I wrote a blog on it. I did some in-depth research into the other companies, into Marathon and Riot, and looked at their earnings per share and saw how they were growing and came to a better understanding of what their business plan, the one who keeps the Bitcoin as opposed to Iris, who sells the Bitcoin each time, and come to some conclusions and examine all of their financials. So I made that blog. I created that blog, and it's on our website, Best of Us Investors. And I would really encourage you to come over and take a look at it, read it, come to an understanding, and see if Iris is right for you, or if Marathon's right for you, or if Riot's best for you. This is what I'm going to do in the future: give you a view as to how I analyze stocks, how I compare them to other stocks, and maybe I can help you become a better investor.